Hi, my name is Corinne Brady, and this is my lifespan timeline presentation. So, to learn a little bit about me, here is a picture of me and my boy Chester. He is about 4 years old, and what I like to say is he is my child that I birthed myself. Here is a picture of the stained glass panel that I just got that looks just like him. And here is Beretta. He is actually her biological father. I got both of them from the same horrible place that they were from. It was a rehoming, thankfully. And they are my life. Speaking of my life that I love so much, this is my youngest sister, Taryn. Her and I are twins. We act the same. We look the same. Very similar. 10 years apart. I do have a sister in between us. She is 19. Her name is Raylan. And I don't have any family pictures that are recent that I could include in this presentation, so I just decided to put the one and put something on my schedule for us to take more family pictures. But I also included this picture of me here because I found that it was very hard to find baby pictures of just me because there are so many of Taryn and we look so similar. I'm from New Baltimore, Michigan. It's about a 4-hour and 45-minute drive to Saginaw. I'm currently living in Flushing, Michigan with my boyfriend Tom. So it's about a 45-minute commute to campus, which isn't too bad. I put this autism ribbon in here because I plan on going to school for occupational therapy to work with children with autism and special needs, as I'm currently a substitute teacher and a substitute para for Genesee Intermediate School District, and I absolutely adore it. All right, let's get started with infancy, voluntary movements, and reflexes. And I do have to say that this baby picture is one of my favorites of me because I'm just laid back chilling up. Infancy, voluntary movements. Sitting up is typically around 8 months, and I was sitting up around 5 months. Crawling is typically around 8 months, and I was crawling around 6.5. And walking is typically around 12. And I was actually walking around 8 months. And the little funny story that I got with this is because my grandpa was watching me a lot because my mom had me in college. So when she went back to college, I would be walking around holding her flashcards, her medical flashcards, and trying to read them and trying to study with her. So that's a pretty fun fact. Infancy, parachute reflex. This reflex usually appears around 6 to 9 months old. The baby extends arms forward when falling, like they're going to catch themselves. And this is a protective reflex, and it stays for life. And this reflex was one of the more visible ones for me. And then stepping reflex. This reflex is present around birth and tends to disappear by 3 months. The baby makes stepping motions when feet touch a surface and disappears around 2 months. Then it comes back later as voluntary walking. And this reflex was most visible for me. Like, I had this favorite baby, like, sitter stepper, what it's called, but I loved that. Bouncer seat. And then swimming reflex, present at birth. Baby makes swimming-like motions in water, and it disappears around 4 to 6 months. And this reflex typically disappears by 6 months, and I don't really have effect on this because I can't remember. Of course I can't remember. But my mom cannot remember what this was like for me. But there are a couple videos where I did see it happen, and this is why I included it. Childhood, foundational, and specialized skills. This picture right here is one of another favorite of mine too, because I'm holding 2 kittens. Persian cats, actually, because that's all we ever had growing up, because my grandma had a cat who had a big litter of kittens, and so everybody in the family got one, and then after that we just loved them. But childhood, foundational skills, vertical jump, pretty much end of initial stage, beginning of elementary stage at 2 years old for me. My mom said I was jumping a lot as a child. Rambunctious was the word that she used. I, at 15 months old, jumped out of my crib and then broke it. And once I learned how to do that, I just kept doing it, and every time she'd hear a thud, she goes, "Oh, that's Corinne. She fell out the bed again. Well, jumped out." But so that's fun. And then kicking at 15 months old, but it was not a confident skill, and I can tell you right now that it is still not a confident skill of mine. I'm very athletic, and I am a very well-rounded athlete, but if it came to kicking a soccer ball, the hand-eye or foot-eye coordination, as I would say, is not there. And then running, I was around 10 months old when I was at the initial stage, and I was actually on the track and field team all throughout high school for varsity, and I was on the track and field team here at SVSU for my freshman and sophomore year until I had to medically retire. So running is a big thing in my everyday life now, as it was back then. Even to the point where I ended up running with a stick as pole vault. But, everybody has their own thing. And then this picture particularly is one of my favorites as well, because I was obsessed with Tinkerbell for so long, and I was Tinkerbell for Halloween for 4 years in a row. So you can't beat what's good, Childhood specialized skill. Learned how to ride a bike at 5 years old. The type of practice this would fall under would be blocked practice. Blocked practice is rehearsal of one skill repeated over a fixed block of time before moving to the next skill. I included this picture of Taryn riding a bike across the street. The house right over here with the volleyball net is actually mine. And I remember Mr. Greg across the street always let us ride our bikes and practice in his grass. I don't know what's so different about his grass compared to our grass, but it just was. And I had to include this picture of Taryn because I could not find a picture of me riding my bike. But then again, technology was way more readily available as she was growing up, because she was born in 2013, as I was born in 2003. But training wheels first, and then off the training wheels, and then adulthood milestones. I am all the way on the left, and then in the middle is Ember, and then on the right is Kylie. And this picture is actually just taken on Thursday at the last college night, because Kylie is graduating here with her Master's of Social Work, and I am absolutely so proud of her, because we've been roommates for the past, was roommates for the past 4 years, and I am just so proud of her. Adulthood. In my 20s, I would like to finish school, move back home, potentially get a job over there. Definitely coach high school pole vault like I'm doing right now, which I will have to take a break from once I enter the OT program, because I will not have time. And then watch my cats grow old, because I love them so much. And then once I get into my 30s, I will mourn the loss of my cats, or at that point, hopefully develop a way to make them live the longest they possibly can. Hopefully buy a house, and then hopefully be married and have a couple kids. And then in my 40s, I would like to eventually adopt a child or two, if I have the means necessary. And then living my dream life on lots of property with plenty of farm animals would be so much fun. And then watch my children start to grow up, because for me, the ideal time to be able to have babies would be like mid-20s, late 20s, but that won't necessarily happen. So definitely early 30s, mid-30s, 50s, adopt more kids if possible. Now that I'm reading back over this is a lot of kids, but I do want a lot of kids. So, of course, quality over quantity, so what I can give them. And then growing old with my partner and watch our kids grow up still. At that point, they'd probably be hopefully high school-ish. So that would be really fun. And then in my 60s, I'd like to retire, hopefully as like an OT. But still continue coaching if possible in my free time. And then have as many animals as possible. And then maybe some grandbabies, you never know. And then continue watching my children grow old, hopefully. And then in my 70s, find new hobbies. Possibly travel. I currently right now do a lot of grandma hobbies as it is, cross-stitching and crafting and hanging out with my cats. So, if I can continue doing that or finding new things. And then living at home, enjoying time with my family as much as I possibly can. Still hopefully living at home. And then in my 80s, hopefully still looking great for my age, because that's what's important. Make sure I lotion and, that wrinkly skin we're going to try to avoid. taking my vitamins, and then socializing with family and friends, because I know it's kind of hard once you get older and you kind of like shy away from family and friends so much. So we're really going to hope for that. And then maybe some great grandbabies. That would be nice. And then once I'm in my 90s, hopefully a nursing home if nobody wants to take care of me, or I would rather stay at home. But, and then enjoying and remembering the good times, because that's really what's important in life. And then for the summary, infancy developed faster than average. Childhood learned how to ride a bike by 5 years old. And then adulthood hoping to live a successful life that I can be proud of at an old age. And then at that point, let's hope I don't have 20 cats.